Alright guys, this next fanfiction idea is essentially was actually one that was voted on over on my Patreon. And as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon, if you guys would like to join on the polls over on Patreon, as well as check out the movie reviews on there, like my Ant-Man Quantumania review, you guys can hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, and you guys can join in on polls that affect that, not only that channel on Patreon, but also this the videos here on Patreon, on YouTube as well. Ugh. All tongue-tied, sorry. So this one is going to be interesting because this one was a tie. Like, I put out a bunch of ideas for a fanfiction idea, and there was a tie between this one and another, and I had to pick, and I decided to, as always, if there's a tie that isn't broken in a while, I just picked tiebreaker, and this one was the one, and that is Stormhawk's Civil War. So Stormhawk's Civil War is actually not only that, but also an idea I had of Stormhawk's Civil War was a story that I had done a long time ago, and this is the revamp of it. So let's get into it. So the story is that we start off with a mission with the Stormhawks, and they begin, and what it is that they have come across a bunch of Talon Raiders who have been terrorizing a small village. And when they get there, though, when the Stormhawks arrive, when they get there, the Raiders already murdered everyone. And at that moment, you know, Finn, the joking one, is like, we should go after them and finish this. And Arrow's like, no, we don't do that. We don't, you know, we don't fight by the enemy's rules. And he's like, well, maybe we should sometime. And everyone's like, whoa, Finn, that's a lot coming from you. And Finn is like, more or less just kind of like, guys, this war is kind of spiraling out of control. Even I'm starting to think about like how this war is spiraling into something we just can't win unless we fight a little dirty. And they're like, Finn, we never thought, like, Piper and Arrow are the ones who are really like talking to him about it, and is like, we don't do that, and you know, believe me, this is a brutal fight, but we can't like fight like them. And he's like, I'm not saying like we fight like them, I'm saying like we need to step up. Like, I feel like Finn's basically saying, like, I'm not saying like we should fight like the Cyclonians do. I'm just saying like we need to be as proactive as they are, because all it seems we're doing is just fighting on the defense when maybe we should go on the offense. And Arrow just straight up tells him, yeah, think on that. Think about what you just said right there, Finn, because that's by far, that will get us all killed. Like, we don't have the resources for it. You know, the last time Sky Knights went on the offense against the Cyclonian Empire, they all died, and I lost my family. Think on that. And Finn immediately shoots back with, well, kind of clearly someone's scared here. And it blows up into an argument that Junko and Piper calm down, and Finn leaves, and everyone's like, what's gotten into Finn? He's like, well, and Stork makes the assumption that, well, war does make a lot of people lose themselves. Trust me, I'm aware. So, yeah. So Finn leaves to cool off, and while he's doing that, he's kind of thinking to himself, like, what else could, yeah, everyone kind of doesn't take me serious. Like, he's already in the mindset of, like, people don't take me seriously enough to, like, people don't take me seriously enough. Whenever I try to throw out a positive answer, people just don't take me seriously. I need to talk to someone who will take me seriously in this regard. And he goes right to Starling. He goes right to Starling, and he explains the whole thing, and she's like, you know, I kind of feel that same way too, of going on of having this more offensive, you know, war campaign against them. And we just need, and I've been trying, like, Starling explains that she's been trying to get like a strike force off the ground. Like, could it be like, could we get an actual I want an actual strike force of Sky Knights to take them on. And Finn's like, you want a strike team? I'm your guy. So Finn and Starling begin looking for, you know, candidates for like a special off the books Sky Knight team, kind of like an X-Force team. Of course, this does not go unnoticed by Arrow, who's pretty mad at both him and Starling for like making a new Stormhawks team, who they're calling the Interceptor, which they're making the new Interceptors, which was Starling's former team. And Arrow is justifiably pissed off about all this because he's like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to just walk out on us and make a new team. And he's like, yeah. Well, maybe this team will get some results, and maybe we can have we can actually have some fighting chance against the Cyclonians. So from there, Finn leaves. Like, Finn straight up has left the team, and him and Starling start like looking for new recruits for this new Interceptors team. What happens is they pick several candidates, one being Dove. Dove is accepted onto the team. Susie Liu is also accepts and joins the team, and Finn's already like 3 ladies. It's kind of hot. And Starling goes, "Down, Finn," and he's like, "I know." From there, they also get Rinjin from the dragon episode. Finn tells him, "Hey, let's get this dragon guy," and they convince him like, if you don't help us, there's going to come a day where the the Cyclonians are going to show up on your doorstep and kill every dragon. So how about you take the fight to them first? So Rinjin joins. You also have who else? Who else did I want to have on this team? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. While this is all going on, there's also a bit of schism among the Cyclonian Empire. That schism has left Master Cyclonus ousted, and in turn, Ravis has taken control of this group, of the new Cyclonian group. It's very much akin to like when Megatron left the Decepticons. Cyclonus just kind of gave up. She didn't the thing is like she just kind of gave up without a really much of a fight, and has now joined. There was a trial, and in defense and in parole rather than execution, she's forced to join the Stormhawks, which Arrow accepts. And while Piper is like, I don't like this idea, but she follows Arrow's whole Arrow's whole thing, Arrow's word, like she trusts in Arrow. Junko, on the other hand, is like, nope, I'm out. So Junko leaves, and Junko leaves and joins the new Interceptors. So with that in mind, they've lost Finn and Junko, so they have to go replace him, but they have to go replace them with other team members. And shockingly enough, one of the team members who joins this new incarnation of the Stormhawks is actually Repton, who one of Ravis's first things is committing mass genocide on Bogotan, and she slaughtered hundreds of raptors when Repton refused to back her in her coup. So now Repton is like, yeah, I'll join the Stormhawks, and I'll help you guys. So Repton's now a Stormhawk. You also have who's the other member? You have crap, I lost it. Sorry, I'm sorry, I just completely fucking blanked on this. Oh yeah, Triton. So Triton joins this new incarnation of the Stormhawks. The group, and of course Finn is pretty mad. Like, okay, you have Finn and Starling are pretty mad. So you replaced us with the 2 people who tried to kill us. That's wonderful. And Starling's already planning on what her plan is before this new Cyclonian Empire can begin from Ravis. They take out Ravis. And while Finn isn't really totally on board with an assassination job, he fully understands, this needs to happen. And Arrow's like, we're not going to assassinate someone and just make the Empire fall apart just so it can be like a bunch of splinter cells fighting each other. Ravis at least had all this momentum behind her and had like all of this. You take out Ravis, it's just going to be open war between all these warlords, and Terras are just going to get torn apart by a second Cyclonian civil war. So of course the Stormhawks get in the way of the interceptors, and all-out war just breaks out between the two sides. It is just it is just an absolute fight until a very brutal end. And it actually, like, Starling and Repton are talking, and she's like, "Did you really want to join the Stormhawks, or did you just want to have a shot at Ravis?" Like, because it feels like you didn't want to. It feels like you wanted to. It feels like you just wanted to push Arrow into doing something you wanted to do. So you should have come to me. You should have come to me, hon. So Repton is like, yeah, you're right. While this is going on, Dove also switches sides as well, and Dove joins the team while Triton is wounded, but he's not killed, and Triton leaves because he's like, yeah, I was only like a... Because he tells him straight up, like, look, I just joined this team because... I just joined this Stormhawks team because you were down and you're my friends, but I can't join in. But now that you got Dove, yeah. So, there you go. The Stormhawks and Interceptors kind of leave on bad terms, but Repton joins the Interceptors, Finn stays, Junko does go back to the Stormhawks because he's like, yeah, I just joined for Finn, but this is kind of fucked up. So the new incarnation of the Stormhawks is Arrow, Piper, Radar, Stork, Cyclonus, and now Junko's back, and with Dove. Then on the Interceptor side, you have Starling, Finn, Zuzilu, Repton, and there you go. So that it all just kind of ends on like a sour note. Like it just ends on a sour note with the Stormhawks kind of splintered from there. So you guys tell me that. So yeah. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much Stormhawk Civil War. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? And once again, I'd like to thank everyone for voting on this. Like I said, this was a tiebreaker, so I just picked. So I was the tiebreaker here. But yeah, as always, like I said before, if you guys would like to join in on the polls and whatnot, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the first tier. That's only $5 a month. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.